Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making Henry's dad-approved Father's Day meatball stroganoff. I think it's dad-approved. That's what the recipe says. I'm not a dad myself, and my dad's dead, but I believe this is a dad-approved dish in honor of Father's Day. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Father's Day as a holiday. A lot of times we forget Father's Day because I don't know if we're too hungover from Mother's Day or if we're just getting excited about partying on 4th of July, but the Father's Day kind of is sandwiched in between and it gets lost in the middle. But the history of Father's Day is very interesting. There was Mother's Day, which was very popular, and then the fathers eventually were like, well, we got to have our day too, and the government was like, well, I mean, if we give Father's Day, then we're going to do Grandparents' Day, and then we got Brothers and Sisters' Day. I mean, where does it end? And but eventually there was a bunch of fathers that were killed in a mining accident, and finally they said, okay, all right, we're going to do a day. And then why they landed on this one, I'm not really sure. But in the United States, let's see. Sorry, there's a lot of science here. Father's Day is a recognized public holiday in Lithuania and some parts of Spain, and was regarded as such in Italy until 1977. It's a national holiday in Estonia, Samoa, and equivalently in South Korea, where it's celebrated as Parents' Day. That's probably smart, just get them both in the same day. The holiday complements similar celebrations honoring family members such as Mother's Day, Siblings' Day, and Grandparents' Day. So I guess they do have all those days. Can you hear me okay? I know sometimes when I ask that, some people say no, and that really messes with my head if it's not true. But this is going to be a very difficult dish. I hope you have your coffee. I do. We're going to be pulling out all the stops on this one. So let's get started by looking at some of the ingredients that we're going to be using. Thank you, Gabo Pantuflis, just subscribed. Thank you for that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the some of these ingredients. Thanks, BGA9. Okay, yeah, look at all these ingredients. This is crazy. We've got our mushrooms, meatballs. Any types of meatballs are going to do for this. We've got our about 2 tablespoons of butter we're going to need. Worcester sauce. I've got some heavy whipping cream that we're going to be adding into our sauce. In terms of pasta, I just got whatever pasta they had, which was called manicotti, but I think that any kind of pasta that you do is going to be good. I think egg noodles is what you're supposed to be doing, but that's okay. Anyway, we've got our beef broth, our 1 onion, and I've got a garlic. Thanks, Leon Hard Silver, just subscribed. Here's our garlic and some flour. And I've got, as usual, I've got the tablespoons and the teaspoons and the cups. But I'm telling you, those things are not accurate. So be careful with that. Let's go ahead and get right into it and start by cutting up our onion here. I got a little bit of flack last time. Thanks, Double Leopards, for subscribing. Here we go. This is an onion. A lot of people said that I'm supposed to cut or peel the onion before cutting it. I don't find that works very well, but If you want, I can do it if it makes people happier. The problem is you're wasting a lot of time in the kitchen because you're just going to wind up having this stuff fall off anyway. And then this is just kind of a pain in the ass. Somebody said time for a kitchen speed run. Yeah, well, if we could speed through this one, that would be amazing, but this is going to be tough. Thanks, DM Maz. And, but you know, yeah, this is silly. We're only going to use half an onion anyway. I'm going to get our knife, which I should have had prepared, and let's start cutting it up. Someone says peel it with your teeth. I suppose that could work. I do have to say this is a little bit easier to cut. Thanks, Sace Killer. Yeah, I try not to use a knife that's too sharp because you can cut yourself very easily, and I have many times. I also try not to get things too hot because they will burn your fingers, as we've seen here in the past. Thanks, TC3. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start with that much onion, and let's get started on our mushrooms. These are called potato mushrooms. Either that or they were in the same section as the potatoes, and it might have been unclear to me, but we're going to cut these into quarters. I hope everybody had a good week. I was very busy last week. In fact, I didn't get calls from anybody in my entire family or friends or anything because I guess they just knew how busy I was. And they were being respectful. Okay, and then finally we're going to do our garlic. And garlic is similar to the onion situation. We're just... guys, I'm not going to sit here and do this. It's going to eventually just sort of fall off there. If you can find any shortcuts in the kitchen, that's a good idea. I normally have, oh yeah, I've got my garlic press here. Move some of this shit out of the way. Getting a little bit teary-eyed because of this onion situation, which happens. Is this pocket friendly? Just subscribe. Thank you for that. Okay, so the way this works is you're just gonna cut it off like that. You don't need too much garlic. A little bit goes a long way. And I learned that the hard way. There you go. And one more. Trying not to make it go all over the place. Okay, that Beelzebub just gifted a sub to Meatballs. That's a sentence that I wouldn't have understood a couple of months ago. I don't know if I understand it now. Okay, let's get our hot plate here ready. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn this guy on. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see a little better. These are the directions here. We're going to, over a medium heat, we're going to put butter in our pan. First, I got to make sure that this thing is on. This is a weird item. I found out that it only works with magnetic something or other. So, okay, so we're going to put our butter in there. I only want 2 tablespoons of butter. So I've got, oh shit, okay. Sorry, that's my cat who might be hungry. Okay, I'm gonna have to, if you're just joining us right now, we're making meatball stroganoff, Dad approved, and my cat's hungry. So, and I have already diced the onions and the mushrooms and the garlic. Now we're just gonna get some butter. I have some in the fridge here. Okay. Hey, Zero just subscribed. Okay, so hopefully you've got butter lying around. All right, I'm gonna put roast beef, my cat, out for a second while we wait for that to melt. Sorry about that. That wasn't very professional at all. Ope Cop 01. Ope Cop 01. Just subscribe. Thank you for doing that. Let's see here. So we've got our butter. We just want to stir this around a little bit, and we're going to add in our stuff that we just had here. Let's see. Add mushrooms and onions and saute for 5 minutes. But it doesn't say do the garlic. So we're going to do this. We're going to work around the garlic a little bit. I've still got my garlic on the plate. And you want to do this until fragrant. Stir it up. That's going to be 5 minutes, so let's go ahead and I forgot to mention we want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, which I did, but I forgot to tell you if you're doing it at home, so I hope that doesn't set you back too hard. If you have not preheated your oven, just a little thing to think about is every time you sit down to cook, no matter what it is, always preheat your oven, because it's better to have a preheated oven ready than to find yourself halfway through the recipe and be like, oh, I gotta wait 10 minutes for this thing. So mine is preheated. I'm gonna grab this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our meatballs on it. So I'm gonna, this is very filthy, so I'm gonna use some tin foil. Or you know what, maybe I'm gonna use some wax paper instead. It's a little more attractive. So we're just simply putting our meatballs, and again, you can use any kind of meatballs that you want. I'm using, I believe these are turkey meatballs. And let's go ahead and put these in the oven. We're going to get those nice and toasty. Let's take a look at our other food here. Looking good. I don't know if anybody's set a timer here. Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, starting now.
Oh, also Alexa, set another timer for 20 minutes. That's going to be for the meatballs. Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes.
Second timer, 20 minutes, starting now. Do you want to name this timer?
Yeah, name it
What do you
Meatballs.
want to call it?
Meatballs?
Okay, I'll call it a Meatballs timer. 20 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. Alright. Let's see how we're doing here. I think these are getting close. I might have the heat a little high, but you don't need to worry about that. Let's check our next ingredient. We're going to add our garlic in there for 1 minute. And then we're going to add some flour. Yeah, we're going to be putting all kinds of stuff into this thing, so it's a good time to answer any questions you might have here. Somebody says, can't wait for 30 minutes from now when my timer scares me. Yeah, you want to make sure that you don't forget that you have a timer, because that will get your blood pressure going. My Alexa device has several more timers going at once. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of sometimes. Someone says, how do you pronounce Stroganoff? Pretty much just like that, Stroganoff. I don't know if anybody out there has had this dish or even heard of it, but Stroganoff is a big thing in Eastern Europe, I understand. I don't know a lot of the history of it. Somebody says they have a question. That's good. Okay. Somebody asked, if you made this for your dad, will he approve of you? That's a great question. I don't know that there's an easy answer. Getting approval from your parents is very important to our development as human beings and to our self-esteem. A lot of people don't have it. A lot of people, no matter how hard they tried to do new things, whether it was Little League or music or cooking, they were never able to get the kind of approval that they were looking for, and it has caused some very deep-rooted feelings. So I don't know. That's a very deep question, and I wish I had a better answer. Alexa, stop timer. Okay, so it sounds like it's time to put our garlic in here. Alexa, stop timer. Let's grab our garlic. Oh, Draconic Elf just subscribed. Very cool. We're going to let this saute for about for about 1 minute. And I'm not going to use the timer for now. Wow, this is getting really fucking smoky here. I'm going to turn it down. Actually, I'm going to go open the window. Okay, so we've got our garlic going. It's been about a minute. Next direction is we are going to be adding 3 tablespoons of flour. So, got our flour here. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the expression, my neighbor's cooking up some nasty ass beef stroganoff. This is sort of a variation on that. This is getting very smoky. Okay. Was that 2 or 3? That looks like 2. Okay. So, we've got our flour in there. I'm going to put on some glasses because it's getting very smoky here. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, if you have any kind of eyewear at all, you're probably going to want it for this dish. Something's going weird. I think I have the heat on too high. Let's put in, babe. I'm going to put it on medium. Let's add in, thanks Lex for cheer. Okay, 1 cup of broth. Let's put in that broth. And I'm going to use our cup here. I'm trying to do the directions pretty much exactly, but I will be honest with you, something is not happening. I think that made it a little better. Okay. Sweeby just subscribed. Alright. Now we're cooking. Got our beef broth. I think that's what we kind of needed. And next up, we're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. Or in other words, whipped cream. Whipped cream, heavy whipping cream is the same thing. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna guesstimate 3/4 of a cup here. That's about right. And you want to stir it all up here. The next order of business will be to add in a tablespoon of mustard, a tablespoon of Worcester, and some salt and pepper. So let's go ahead and do that. Sister8 just subscribed. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to use a tablespoon of mustard. What's going on here? Okay. And a tablespoon of our Worcester. Or somebody corrected me last time, I think it's Worcestershire, but nobody's got time to worry about those types of things. So I say Worcester, you say Worcestershire. Let's call it off. Okay. Let's move this around a little bit. Looks like next up we're going to be a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. I'm getting pretty good at grinding this. In the kitchen, you got to do stuff fast. There's our salt and pepper. Okay, well, there's no doubt about it. This is fragrant. And that was one of the directions, is that you're supposed to wait until it's fragrant. Beef broth. Okay. I think we're going to let these simmer for a little bit, which is awesome. Thank you, Clark Ashton, for subscribing. Anybody who's just joining us right now, I like to recap. Berta Sag is following, thank you. What's happening is that we've diced up a bunch of onions and mushrooms, garlic, and we put them in a saute pan. We've been sauteing. The smoke is pretty heavy, so I put on some eyewear. And we also need to, and when we also added some broth. And we're, if you're just joining us, we're making Dad-approved Father's Day meatball stroganoff. Speaking of meatballs, Alexa, how much time left on the meatballs?
You have 10 minutes left on the meatballs timer.
So that's a little bit of time, but it's actually perfect timing for us to work on our pasta. Okay. Hey, Danosaurx just subscribed. I have some hot water going here. Oh, I thought I did. Okay, I've got some hot water heating here, so while that's happening, maybe I'll just stir this up a little bit more and answer any of your questions. Somebody asked if you wash the mushrooms. I don't, because I figure when you cook it, it gets sterile. Somebody says they don't have a question. Okay. Oh, I'm behind. Somebody asked about the whipped cream. So, somebody's saying it looks burny. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I'm not sure why. I following the directions exactly. Somebody says it's gonna taste like coffee. You know, at this point, that would be awesome. Speaking of coffee, I just took a sip. Oh, I think there was some confusion. Somebody said it looks Bernie. They meant their friend Bernie. Okay. What if you put some coffee in it? You know, the rule that I have is learn the rules correctly before you start learning how to break them. Does roast beef ever do any cooking? No, but he's having a little difficulty with this one because it's very smoky. Let's see what I've got the roast beef cam where we can check in on him. Yeah, so he's kind of hiding himself a little bit. I don't know if he's not a fan or what. Anyway, this is a cast iron skillet that I'm using here, so any kind of burn type stuff will go away. It's definitely fragrant. I'm starting to wonder if I think I'm going to take it off the heat for a little bit. Watch out, this is extremely hot. Better to use an oven mitt if you have one. Let's see here. Okay. Primo just subscribed. Thanks. Use my feet for hot stuff. I don't know what that means. Somebody asked if I recommended using a scale when cooking. If you have one of those scales that they have for weighing letters, you know, it would probably come in handy because you have a lot. Like, for example, I've got a thing of mushrooms here, and I think the recipe said something like 6 ounces of mushrooms. I don't have a scale. I'm not going to be weighing them. So if you have something like that, then all the better. But after you've been cooking as long as I have, you can start to kind of guesstimate a little bit. All right. Still have some time on our water. I'm going to take a real quick second here and say a special thank you to a few people that have been helping out. The moderators, Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Dude Dingle, Dogoggy, Dr. Flanges, and some other people that have been there and offered to help from the beginning. Bakus, Pilskman, Daisy Blossom, Melon 95. Bumble Vision has given me a lot of technical help, which I appreciate. The LGX as well, and my old pal Bill Larkin, who has his own channel, just Bill 2L's Larkin, who's an extremely talented musician. And I always want to say special thanks to Nim, because Nim got me on Twitch and spread the word about it, and I appreciate that. And I've never met Forsen, but he sends a lot of people this way too, so I think in life you have to have gratitude, and I have a lot of gratitude to the people that have helped me out on my journey, because cooking is Obviously, it's not fun. It's not joyful in any way, but it's something that we all have to do. And so I'm happy to be sort of the one who explains it to people. All right, let's go ahead and pour this in here. It's hard to switch cameras at the same time here. I might have put 2 more, we'll see. Too much, I mean. Let's see here. But let's take a look at this pasta situation. Pasta is one of the things that it's really difficult to go wrong, because you're basically just putting food in water and letting it get melty. So try not to get any on you. These are kind of weird pastas. That should be enough. You want to make sure that every bit of pasta is submerged in the water. And we're going to let that boil for, let's see, whatever it says on the package instructions here. Pre-boil method, use 6 to 8 quarts of water. We're not doing that, obviously. Cook uncovered and stir for 3 minutes. Drain and cool for 5 to 6 minutes. I don't know why they do that. You know, is it 5 minutes or is it 6 minutes? I guess between 5 and 6 they mean 5:30, but then why don't they just say 5 minutes and 30 seconds? Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You have 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on your Meatballs timer.
Okay, so we're getting pretty darn close here. Oh, I wasn't really setting a timer for this pasta, so that's a problem. I guess we're just gonna wait until it gets melty or whatever. Sorry, this has been kind of a tough one, but we're going to be really rewarded with a pretty damn good meatball stroganoff when we're done here. I'm trying to make sure that we've got everything here. We've got our pasta going. We've got our our mushroom onion mixture, and we've got our meatballs. So we're in good shape. I think it's probably time to go ahead and grab a strainer, which of course I don't have, but I think this pasta is big enough. It's probably been about 3 minutes, wouldn't you say? Let me see what's going on here with you guys. No, it's just Bill Larkin, B-I-L-L, and then capital L, Larkin. Unless I'm doing it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who it is, at Bill Larkin. I'll get the actual details on that. Let's see here. Someone says, Henry, you're a wonderful person. You know, I try, and I think that's all any of us can do. Uh-oh. So I think it's time to turn off the heat. I think I'm done with this thing in general. If you ever the off button is broken on this thing, so I didn't know if it said off, but anyway, I'm just gonna strain it with a plate here and we'll see how that works. But fortunately this pasta is big enough that we don't have to worry too much. That worked out pretty decent. I only lost a couple of them. these are very hot. I'm gonna need a larger, actually here, I'm gonna put a couple of these back because it wound up being quite a bit of pasta. So much of what you're doing in the kitchen is troubleshooting or... Alexa, stop timer. Oh, just in time. It looks like our meatballs are now ready. So let's grab those, and I'm going to use an oven mitt for this. I don't know what happened with this, and I'm a little disappointed, but that's part of what we're doing here. Let's take a look at the directions. We will now be adding our meatballs to our concoction here. I'm going to use a slotted spatula. I don't want to get the paper in there, obviously. They're too hot to grab, but ideally that's what I would be doing. They're sticking to the paper as well. There we go. Okay. So I guess we're just going to stir these around a little bit. They're already cooked, so we don't have to turn this thing on anymore. But next up, we will be, let's see what our directions here say. We're going to let that simmer for a couple of minutes. So I think I am going to turn it on just a little bit, but I don't want to get that heat too high. Let's put it on low. It doesn't seem to want to work now. Oh, start low. Okay. So while that's simmering, and I don't think I need these anymore because the smoke's died down a little bit. Maybe this would be a good time. I always say that there's a lot of things that you can do while you're waiting for either something to simmer or to put it in the oven. One of the things I like to do is play music. So maybe. Okay. Well, we have Warkless just subscribed. Thanks for that. Here's a little song. I don't have a Father's Day song, but this is a song that reminds me a little bit of Father's Day. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself anymore. I guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met a guy with cancer and he felt sorry for me. I'm always coming in last place and getting dirt kicked in my face, and I guess that's just the way it's meant to be. Okay. Thanks, Original Pancake. Help me make it through the night, 'cause there's nothing out there for me anymore. There's that one. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
There are no timers set.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need a timer for simmering. You can let something simmer all day long. Thank you, Atara Zia 87. 87's the year that I graduated from high school and my life changed. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of chatting stuff here to go through. I want to see if anybody has a request for a song. I'm usually down with doing anything like that. Somebody said play Hold Me. Hold Me is a song from Jose Suicidio. I haven't tried that one in a long time. Please don't let this one slip away. Make her real and make her stay. The world is so predictable, and I always end up in between. But this one seems like she could be different. This one seems like she really likes me. Why do I keep having terrible luck in my life? Hold me a lifetime. I wanna know what I did wrong. Hold me, somebody hold me. Why is everything always bad? Some of the lyrics there I didn't really get, but anyway. Okay, guys, I think it's time to taste test our beef stroganoff. I'm sorry, meatball stroganoff. That's a common mistake. It's common for me to make anyway. I don't know if it is for other people. So let's see what we have here. The instructions say to literally pour our mixture over our noodles, which I am going to do. I'm going to turn this off. Let's get rid of this. That plate is very hot, so be careful. It's not really pouring, but maybe they mean just sort of drape it over. I like the meatballs a lot. Try to get all that onion there. There's going to be a little bit of cleanup to do on this pan, but it's very fragrant. I smell a lot of mustard for some reason. Mustard's one of those flavors that cuts through. I'm going to add just a little bit more pasta. And I'll get like 2 more. Pasta's carbohydrates, that's good for you. All right. Also, when you're eating any kind of meat, you always want to put a temperature gauge in there. I have one of these things. See how hot these meatballs are. Wow, looks like it's supposed to be 160. It looks like it's going almost to 200. So these are plenty hot. And now for the fun part, the rewarding part, eating it. I'm gonna get a fork here. I don't have a fork, but I think I could probably use a spoon for this. I'm going to try to get a piece that's got a little bit of mushroom and a little bit of onion in there, as well as some meatball. It's hard to cut through with a spoon, but we can do this. Yeah. I think it's a little bit on the burn side, unfortunately. I did everything right. Sometimes when you're getting recipes from the internet, you don't really know exactly where they're coming from. They could be coming from some idiot who doesn't know how to cook. Pasta's perfect. But yeah, this is Father's Day, Dad approved. I assume, again, I'm not a dad and my dad is dead. So I think that if you are a dad out there watching, maybe you can let us know whether it's approved by dads or not. But, this is very delicious. So, somebody says we need a simmering cam. That's a good idea. Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, sorry, I looked at this too late. I'll have to do that next time. I think there's a clip of me doing it last week. So, let's see. Somebody says it's not burnt. I just don't have the dad taste buds. Thank you. That's a good compliment. Beelzebub says, any new songs in the works? Yeah, I'm always working on new songs, so I'm going to try to have more of those for you guys. Somebody asked about the garlic. The garlic is in there. Somebody says, theirs came out really runny. It's almost like a sauce. I wonder what I did wrong. Well, the thing about cooking, and this is one of the things I wanted to say to you guys, I've been doing this a very long time. 7 years to be exact that I've been cooking. I've been teaching it for actually about 11 years, but really cooking for 7 years. I've always felt like if you want to learn something, start teaching it first. So if yours came out runny, I don't know what to tell you other than it could be that you're not somebody who cooking is really going to be your thing. And you could go to restaurants and have other people cook for you, or you're going to be able to keep working on it. I mean, I will say that in my early days, I had all kinds of things go wrong in the kitchen. But, I mean, I remember one time I left left a casserole in there for several hours and realized that I forgot to turn the oven on. But you have to work through this kind of thing. And always eat what you cook. If you're not eating what you're cooking, then nobody else will. So somebody said they just showed their dad and he doesn't improve. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. If there's something I didn't do correctly, maybe he can tell me. Can I talk about time in prison? Actually, my grandmother was in prison and she used to tell me about it when we made peanut butter cookies. I could tell you stories about that. Someone said I fucked up. Well, I will say that it's not exactly like the picture. But anyway, okay. I just want to say thanks and happy Father's Day to everybody out there, even the father who didn't approve of this dish. Maybe it's a matter of taste. The Latin phrase comes to mind, "Le gustum no est disputandum," or something like that, which means there's no disputing taste. And speaking of taste, don't forget to season whatever it is that you're doing here. And the seasoning can be, some chives or whatever, or parsley, but I like to just do the mustard and the Worcestershire sauce in just about everything because that's going to be automatic flavor. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, whether you're in a country that celebrates it or not. Think about your father, or think about somebody else's father if you don't have one. And just overall be good to yourselves. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody supporting Henry's Kitchen live. And we're going to do it again Wednesday at 11 a.m. And thanks, everyone.